Satya Dhamma Reflection on June the 4th, 2022. Let's end within no time constantly. Purify all the thoughts constantly. No is not even no itself. Don't be obsessed to use titi, long or short, knowing long or short, on and on. No is not even no itself, so that it will end all the mind is short or long. Non-attachment doesn't mean anything. Don't create any length into it, end all the short or the length. Don't be obsessed with the length and the short, on and on, end within no time. Give no significance to the disregard itself. Don't drift around. Don't enjoy being carried away. End within no time. No is not even no itself. No is not no itself. End within no time. Don't be obsessed with the samuttai of the length and the short, on and on. No is not even the no itself. Don't be obsessed with senses and sense perceptions, inside and outside, on and on. This will be the purification of the extinction and emptiness that is simultaneous. Don't be obsessed with significance and meanings within and without. No is not no itself. Don't be obsessed with senses and sense perceptions. Let's make a conclusion to simultaneously purify it at the same time. No is not no itself. Non-attachment doesn't signify anything. Well with it. Don't be obsessed to use the mind this way and that way, on and on. Don't be obsessed to be fixated with feelings, the mind, or any states of mind, or any conditions. Don't be obsessed to be fixated with anything whatsoever. Give no significance to the non-attachment itself. Disregard and give no significance to it. Disregard from itself. Give no significance to the disregard itself. No significance within the disregard itself. Share it simultaneously. Don't be obsessed to be samsara by oneself. Purify samsara of the assumed at the same time. Form and formlessness, body and mind. Give no significance to the disregard itself. Well with it. Don't be obsessed to use the mind in this way and that way, on and on. Don't be obsessed with titi, opinions and meanings. No fixation even to the non-fixation itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. This will be the purification of the extinction and nirodha simultaneously. Don't be obsessed to be just senses and sense perceptions or samsara. Disregard even from the disregard itself simultaneously. Don't be as samsara only. Purify simultaneously through nirodha and nibbana. Don't be engrossed with the body and the mind in this way or that way, on and on. Don't be obsessed with significance and meanings within Dhamma or anything whatsoever. Disregard from itself. Disregard from itself, child. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Well with it. With this, you will not be obsessed to create samsara within feelings, thoughts, recalls in the way that it's drifting and is creating substantially. No is not even no itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. No is not even no itself. Don't be obsessed with yes and no, involvement or uninvolvement, uninvolved even within the uninvolvement itself. This will end being stupid or being smart. It will end all about the delusion to the smartness or stupidity. This is the obsession with meanings and significance. Disregard from itself. Non-attachment is not itself. Share it simultaneously with everything. There is no need to be afraid of rain. What are you afraid of? You already have taken the shower for many times. A lot already. Don't be obsessed to give significance and meanings and involvements in anything. Disregard from itself. Give no significance and meanings and involvement to anything whatsoever. Disregard from itself, end within no time. Give no significance to the disregard itself. Nothing is within the disregard itself. No fixation even to the non-fixation itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. No is not even no itself. Nothing is within no itself. Nothing is within the disregard itself. Let's purify through the extinction and the emptiness. Well with it. Self-purification. Don't linger with anything. Don't prolong anything. Give no significance to the self-purification itself. It's not about anything within anything. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Let it be on its own. Disregard is not even itself. Go ahead. No is not even no itself. Don't use no to reject anything, to circling in the samsara all by oneself. Don't circle with that which is not about anything. No is not even no itself. Don't circle within the disregard itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Disregard doesn't mean anything. Don't circle with the uninvolvement within anything. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Give no significance and the disregard itself. Don't use the disregard to circle with anything whatsoever. Don't deludedly attempt to disregard with anything, from anything. The disregard has no significance in itself. The non-attachment has no significance in itself. So don't circle with the non-attachment on and on, trying to non-attach to anything whatsoever. The emptiness doesn't signify anything, so don't use the emptiness to try to empty out of anything. Don't circle with the emptiness. The emptiness doesn't signify anything. It doesn't mean anything. The liberation is not even itself. So don't use the liberation to try to liberate from anything whatsoever. The liberation has no significance in itself. So don't use it to circle in itself, trying to liberate from something on and on. Nothing is within the liberation itself. It doesn't signify itself as anything. Don't deludedly liberate from something. The emptiness doesn't signify itself. So don't use the emptiness to try to empty out of anything. Otherwise, it will turn into samsara of karmic difficulties of the titi. It is the samutai of the titi, the karmic difficulties of the titi. Being obsessed with seeing, with opinions, with knowing. This is samutai overlaying titi, overlaying knowing. No is not no itself, Chai. This is not about circling with anything. It's not samsara. No is not even no itself. Disregard on its own. Disregard from itself. No significance to the disregard itself. Well, with this essence of disregard that is not itself, make a conclusion through Nirodha. Cut through the cycle. Don't circle around. The disregard doesn't mean anything. This will not circle. It will simultaneously prefine through Nirodha for samsara. Otherwise, it's going to be just creating samsara. Let it be balanced. The essence in samsara in a way of purifying through the extinction. Even we don't go around to bless here and there, the anupap of the extinction already reach everywhere. There are simultaneous purification. So let's assume the disregard well to disregard from itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Give no significance to the uninvolved itself. Samsara has big screen. If you use the small screen through your eyes, let's go ahead to the big screen. Purify the screen, the big screen, small screen. No is not no itself. Don't be using no with anything because that is going to circle in itself. No is not no itself, end within no time. So that you're not exhausted. Bless well. It has to be beyond using wisdom to bless. Beyond the mind, beyond titi, beyond knowing. Bless well. It will be beyond the knowing, beyond titi, beyond wisdoms or intelligence, beyond any states, beyond any conditions. No is not even no itself. It's not classified as any conditions, attributes, body, mind, aggregates, or whatsoever. The emptiness doesn't signify anything. It's not considered as anything, being anything. No is not no itself. Purify the samutai of titi, ceasing the samutai of titi. To be obsessed, to know like this, like that, it is the samutai of titi. Still the cause within titi. Still a titi regarding yes or no. Titi regarding disregard or not. Titi regarding involvement or uninvolvement. It is a samutai of titi, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. In this way, one will not be engrossed with titi or wisdoms or intelligence. Good to hear, to listen, so you can conclude for samsara, for all and everything. This is helping through ending. Otherwise, there's gonna be irritation and exhaustion through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, circling in itself. It's like repeated in itself, inside and outside, circling on and on in its own usual way. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Don't try to disregard from anything. Disregard even from the disregard itself, and involved with the disregard itself in our repetitions with anything. Disregard even from the disregard itself. There is no need to be repeated and emphasized with the mind or anything. Where with this, you have to be the one that well to not associate within yourself or within anyone. If you are still associable, that's not okay. It has to be in the way of impossible to associate because there's no mind to associate with anything. Disregard even from the disregard itself. What is there to be associated with? Towards something that is not about anything. It has to be in the way of disregard to the disregard, non-attachment to the non-attachment only. Then it will be tremendous power to purify through the extinction for one another, through the emptiness, help through the emptiness to purify all together, help one another with this essence, help ending as helping for samsara. Therefore, why samsara is full of torment? Because they are always use meanings and significance and involvement. This is the samutaya of vibhak. It is the vibhak even within itself. When Luang Por has always have power to bless because there is no obstructions, and the power of no obstructions is bounced back to Luang Por. That is tremendous power. On the contrary, if you lead others to be fixated, then you'll be bounced back by such a fixation. The more brightness in each sentence that is given, there is effect to the assume up to bless, because this will help tremendously through the unwinding and releasing. This is collective blessing. Therefore, let's diligently help through ending, help continuously to make a conclusion towards ending for one another. This morning, Luang Por went early at 3 a.m. and go again to the front gate. Go to bless again and again, here and there. Not feeling old. Still feeling young. The intangible beings, they are easily brightened out. And whenever you assume to this country or that country, they will link to all those intangible beings. They will come by themselves. Whoever that are difficult to come, you just have to assume blessing to them, and they will be here all by themselves. Especially for the intangible beings, they will come by themselves. There's no quarantine. There are various realms of existence in many locations, more than the humans. The humans are just, small amount, just like one bite Give no significance to the disregard itself so that you will end all the suffering within the mind. No is not no itself continuously. Often. Long Paul used the language of his descendants, Vietnamese and Chinese. No is not no itself. Don't be deludedly yes with anything. Because you will face vomit. You will vomit and circle in that such a way. Yes, here and there. This is repetitious. No is not no itself. No is not the no itself. Don't be obsessed to yes and no until you're vomiting. No is not no itself. This is yes, that is liking, circling on and on as samsara. You know, there are only repetitions, routines, individual routine. This is repetitious. You know, taking a shower, brush the teeth, makeup. This is already full on. One mirror is like imprinting, full on imprinting. Disregard, even from the disregard itself. It's exhausting, you know. We have to anyhow assume up the body-mind. We have to form up the crudeness, body or mind, to help through ending, to help purifying. The point is, there is a fixation to the assumed, to the form and formlessness, to the body and mind. Assume sounds and be fixated to sound. Therefore, it has to be self-purification within itself. This will purify the fixation. Conclude, often conclude towards ending. Disregard is not itself. There is no need to be considerate to the seer and the knower. This is the clinging. Don't cling to being clear or not clear. Disregard from the disregard itself is not about body or mind, form or formlessness, seeing or not seeing, knowing or not knowing. As it is, no is not even no itself. Therefore, don't regret anything. Don't be obsessed to cling to senses and sense perceptions on and on. Disregard from itself. The disregard is not even itself, child. The emptiness is not itself either. The emptiness doesn't signify itself. Therefore, don't be obsessed to regret all the senses and sense perceptions. Knowing or not knowing, seeing or not seeing, being clear or not. There is no need to wear spectacles anymore. Beyond being clear or not clear already. To be concerned with being clear or not clear, you're just circling as such on and on. There is no need to be concerned with being clear or not clear with anything, because that is grabbing. It's just simultaneously purify in the way of extinction simultaneously. When you use spectacles, you always want to be clear with something. It's like you are hypnotized. It's like you are in a cage. It's sticky. Clarity is something that is sticky. Nong Po give an example of someone who in the past used spectacles. Right now, she doesn't use it anymore. Use them anymore.
ฟังกูใส่แว่นก็ไม่ได้ใส่แว่นแล้วเมื่อก่อนคุณกินยาโรคประสาทคุณก็ไม่ได้กินยาแล้วเพี้ยนไปหมดเลยพอเจอท่านนี่เพี้ยนหมดเลยไม่เหมือนเดิมไม่เหมือนเดิมหรือเปล่ากินยาโรคประสาทมาก็มันเลิกกินแล้วไม่ได้กินแล้วเลิกประสาทแดกเลิกแดกประสาท
The old habit has been dissolved. Words are just an assumed. It's not real. It's not real. So don't be deluded to taking it real or not real. This is repetition of samutai, repetitious Vedana and hindrances. Even no words is not about having no words. Even no is not no. No, even not even no itself. And within no time right away. In all the shots, no is not no itself. End within no time already as such. Disregard is not itself. End within no time. Length or short is actually the desire. Is the samutai that is short or long. It is samsara. Therefore, be resolute. No is not no itself. You can take samsara into account and you cannot play with it. There's always effect. There's always Vedana and hindrances. You cannot play with them or you cannot take it so real. You cannot take samsara into account at all. To use the mind in this way or that way with samsara is going to bounce back to yourself totally. To use the good minds to them, it will bounce back to yourself. Any types of mind will bounce back to yourself. There are only Vedana that is bouncing back. Therefore, let's relate through emptiness and emptiness. Give no significance to the non-attachment, all the same, which is not about anything in being the same. Purify through the extinction, all the same. Nothing is in being the same. Disregard is not itself all the same. All the same to everything, in the way that it's not about anything in being the same. This is graceful, as the emptiness is not itself. In this way, no one will be deluded to being empty or not. It will not become titi regarding the emptiness. One will not use knowing regarding titi of the emptiness, deludedly thinking that is empty or not empty, seeing or knowing that is empty or not empty. Emptiness is not emptiness itself. Dissolve all titi right away. In this titi throughout. It will end all the grasping, overlaying, the emptiness overlaying the result. Whatever that is grasping, it will end itself. Listen in the way of ending. When there is no obstruction within others, it will bounce back to all blessers in the way that is not obstructing, which is transforming in its own way, back and forth. This is collective blessing. Here or there doesn't belong to anyone. The Anupap, the mighty force, merits or perfections don't belong to anything. It's a universal thing.
เองก็มันเป็นของตัวมันเอง
It doesn't belong even to itself.
ตัวมันเองในบารมี
The parami or perfection
ไม่เป็นของ
doesn't belong to itself. It doesn't belong to anyone. It's universal thing.
ฉะนั้นหมดปัญหาเรื่องมีบารมี
Therefore, in all problems about having perfection more or less, even the perfection of the great perfection themselves,
โปรดมาเรื่อยๆโปรดช่วยใครช่วย
they don't belong to the great perfection. It's derived from blessing throughout times. This is just an assumed blessing, the anupap, the mighty force that is assumed, the great blessed fortune that is assumed. It doesn't belong to anyone. The anatta or anicca doesn't belong to anyone. It doesn't take anything or anyone into account. No fixation even to the non-fixation itself. With this, it will penetrate through, continue in the way without flaw. Don't look at something clearly for too long. Let's be immediately conclude towards the ending.
จอเล็กมึงจอใหญ่นู่น
Go ahead towards the big screen.
พอแล้วมึงจะเลิกรำคาญ
Then you will end all your irritation.
เอาจอ
The big screen, samsara, in the way without grasping it.
อะไรที่มันแคบๆมัน
Whatever that is narrow will create irritation, more irritation, more of engrossing.
คนอยู่ในห้องแคบ
It's just like someone who is in a small room
อะไรใน
because there is significance and meanings in that narrowness.
ฉะนั้นก็ต้องล้างไป
Therefore, let's purify it simultaneously through the seeing or not
ใช่
seeing.
ตัวไม่ใช่เอง
No is not even know itself.
แล้วมันจะไม่ใช่อะไรในกว้างไม่ใช่อะไรในแคบ
Then it will not be about extensiveness or
ล้าง
narrowness.
ตัวที่เป็นตัวไป
Purify
กว้าง
that
ไม่ใช่ตัวไม่ใช่เอง
that attempt to
ไม่เอง
be wide or be narrow.
ไม่ใช่
Disregard from the disregard itself. No, it's not know itself.
แคบอะไรที่กว้างทิฏฐิ
This is the tithi that is going in the extensiveness or narrowness. The knower is like that as well.
ล้างตัวรู้
Whatever that is
ไม่งั้นมันจะตัด
said here is purifying the knower.
ตัวรู้แล้วมันจะ
Otherwise, there will be no cutting the deluded
ติด
knowing.
รู้สิ
It will be just a fixation to knowing.
ไม่ก็ไม่ใช่ไม่เอง
The disregard is not itself, has nothing to do with knowing or not knowing, having tithi or not. This is the cutting, helping through cutting.
ไปเจริญเนี่ยตัวรู้
To practice the knowing on and on, how can there be cutting? There is just knowing.
ก่อนแล้วก็เจริญตัวรู้ก่อน
In the past, we also practice the knower. It's torturing, it's suffering.
รู้เลย
Standing,
ขนาด
sitting is full of knowing, even sleeping. You are conscious of yourself,
ยังรู้
always being
เดิน
conscious.
แล้วกายที่ออกไปเดินอยากจะร่างหยาบไปเดินแล้ว
Even the
ใช่ไหมไอ้ตัวรู้เนี่ย
intangible beings living these
ต่อ
tangible beings,
ที่ต่อไป
you are also conscious.
แยกร่างได้กาย
This is the fixation to the tangible and intangible bodies.
ฉะนั้นที่พูดเนี่ยพูด
So what is said here is the reflect the essence of the cutting the knowing.
รู้ไม่รู้เนี่ย
Truly,
ไม่เกี่ยว
if we have nothing to do with knowing or not knowing, being conscious or not, involved even within the unvolved itself.
คือสอนตัวรู้ไม่ได้ สอนตัวละรู้ก็ไม่ได้
You cannot teach about
ละ
being
ไม่เกี่ยวกับ
the
ละ
consciousness,
ต้องละตัวละอันนี้ชัวร์
even the letting
ละก็
go.
ไม่เกี่ยวกับละเอง
Letting go has nothing to do with itself. Letting go of the letting go itself.
มันจะไม่ละตัวละ
Don't use the let go to let go of something because it won't do it. Just unconcerned
เดี๋ยวจบมาก
with the letting go itself in the path right
ไป
there.
ละตัวไปสลับหรือตัวไปปล่อยไปวางเรื่องอะไร
The path of the noble ones. are like letting go, putting down. This is the obsession. It is a kind of samsara. Being obsessed to be noble, to be worldlings. Nothing is in there, no significance in it. Nothing is within yes or no. No is not even no itself. Let's say this is concluded by Nirodha and Nibbana for samsara. Nirodha and Nibbana concludes for samsara as such. Therefore, diligently bless, diligently assume the blessing. This is beneficial for samsara at large. It's simultaneous benefits for both oneself and samsara. No is not even no itself. This is not individual. This is not taking into oneself. This is the benefits for both oneself and samsara at large. This is unwinding for both. This is not the benefits that is for the sake of itself. It cannot be grabbed. If it is the sentence that leads towards grabbing, it will be individual. It's for the sake of individual. This is not to be recommended. No is not even no itself. When you assume this sentence, it's released from the delusion within and without simultaneously. This is the benefits for all. But if you use no, you will know to this and that. This is the cutting that grabs itself. No is not no itself. That's it. This is not for the sake of itself. This is not about cutting for the sake of cutting, not about letting go for the sake of letting go, liberation for the sake of liberation. This is not the letting go for the sake of the letting go. It turns into simultaneous benefits for all, inside and outside. It unwinds for both inside and outside simultaneously. Just continue to bless. It's like constantly blessing. Then samsara will be shortened and shortened. Samsara at large will be ended, enabled to end. Ending being samsara, being beings. And it has been ending for them for so many generations already. They are tremendous number. So therefore we have to help end for them continuously. No one gains anything from anything anyway. No one can gain anything from the anicca or anatta. Everything is anatta. No one can gain anything from anicca and anatta. No one can gain anything from the anatta truly. So disregard even from the disregard itself well, so that there will be no delusion to gain or to lose from it. Wherever you assumed the blessing, all realms of existence will just wake up. This assumed has no significance in itself, no clinging, in itself.
มันไม่เกี่ยวไม่ไม่เกี่ยวกับไม่
Involve with the disregard. When you assume this sentence, it will help unwinding
มันเกิด
for all.
ขึ้นมาในการขยับเคลื่อนไหว
They will have the energy or the power to move themselves, their body mind,
เองตอนเนี้ยข้างๆอยาก
automatically for both tangible and intangible beings.
ในการโกรธยิ่งไม่ได้คิดว่าจะเอาอะไร
And the more you think that you don't want to grab anything from it, it just purify the program of grabbing. Disregard from the disregard itself will clear all. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself will clear all.
กลไกแห่งอธิวาสนาบารมีอุปโลกทั้งหลายก็
The assumed mechanism of great best fortune will proceed onwards in the way without grasping anything, proceeding in the way of bygone be bygone all the time, just bygone, bygone, bygone.
นอนที่นอนทุกวันไม่ติดที่นอนเลยต้องลุกหนีออกจากที่นอนทุกวัน
Wherever you lie down, you are not stuck in it. You're not fixated to it. Wherever you sit, anytime, you always discard it at any time. No fixation to such manners at any time.